open at the website, enduraworld.co.za.
You're listening to Sam Lehoko on Mix 93.8.
Right, so it's exactly 9:30. Good morning to you. Happy Monday. So, Laurie, every single Monday we chat to Candace Bester from Grit Grow on
We
Coach's
get our
Corner.
week started on the best footing.
Absolutely. Candace, good morning.
Good morning, beautiful ladies.
How are you?
I'm fantastic, thank you.
Good, good. How was the weekend?
It was so special,
Yes?
really, really special. I was lucky enough to attend a private function on Saturday in Cedar Lakes. Some great live music,
Yeah.
friends.
Awesome.
Definitely one for the memory bank.
Oh,
Good
nice
vibes,
soul
good
food.
vibes.
Love that.
So, Candace, I believe that, you've been getting some feedback from a couple of people and they've been saying, let's talk about our stories, let's share our struggles and our challenges, etc. So let's make the content more relatable, right? So we're going to take some stories and work on that going forward, right?
I would love to do that. And if people are listening and there's something that they're struggling with, for them to just put it out there and know that whatever that is, that it's probably not too unique. And we always think our stories are unique, but we share very similar struggles.
Yeah, and it's when that burden is actually shared, even if it's by like conceptually someone else, it kind of makes it a bit easier.
Absolutely. So, and I always say that when I share about something, it could possibly give somebody else the courage to also open up and
100%.
share. Right? So, Candace, let's talk about today's challenge, so to speak, and then we get into practical solutions, right?
Definitely. I have the cutest story to share.
Yes.
I overheard my neighbor's little girl, and if I had recorded this, it would have gone viral on social media.
Yes.
And I'm going to do my best to impersonate her because she has the most beautiful little accent.
Okay.
So I overheard her saying to her mom, Mom, you are just stressed and stressed and stressed. You are doing absolutely nothing to calm yourself down.
Wow.
Can you please just chill?
Oh, there we go, from the mouths of babes, eh?
So confident, and as much of a laugh of what it is, it just reminds me that our children are watching us, and if we are not okay, they are not okay.
Absolutely.
100%. And, it just makes me think about something, Candace. A lot of people had children or were in close quarters with children during the pandemic, okay? Very, very much so. And it's stressful at the best of times. And then you were thrown into this very, very bizarre situation where it's additional stress, other life worries like money, things like that. And these 2.5 years have had a great impact on anxiety for a lot of people as well.
Laurie, you are so spot on. It is stressful to be a parent when everything's going right, and now throw in all our additional stress, and it really is unbearable. And I see it when I do coaching and I do the training with the children. In the very first session, they are bearing this weight on their shoulders that they've subconsciously taken on from their parents.
Yeah.
And so it really is our responsibility to start to do something about it. We've been speaking in depth about self-love every week, and we've uncovered all the knowledge around self-awareness and our triggers and our emotions and our thoughts. But it really is pointless if we don't do something about it.
Absolutely. So maybe, Candace, let's take it back a little bit and just remind our listeners what self-love is.
It's about making yourself a priority. So that's the very first step.
Okay.
If you are not okay, everybody around you is not okay. Again, I go back to the airplane. I do this often, is when the plane is going down, you have to put your oxygen on first. You have to save yourself before you can save anybody else.
Yeah.
But what do? Our work comes first. Our children come first. Our struggles, our overwhelm. And it's become our norm. I think the scary part is that people think this is normal.
Yeah.
They just want to get through the day. And it's an accomplishment if I can get into bed tonight knowing that I just made it through the day.
Yeah.
We glorify the term of being busy. So being busy is very, very, very glorified. And I think people, you put yourself last because you're so high functioning because you're getting stuff done and ticking stuff off.
I wanted to ask Candace, is it normal, to feel bad about, like not putting yourself first?
Totally normal. I think it's mommy guilt, parent guilt. I say the day you give birth to a child is the day you give birth to guilt. But it's the guilt that holds us back from putting ourselves first. So we've got to start to do it without the guilt and know that we're doing this for our children, and it's nothing that they're going to be missing out on. It's going to be benefiting them. When we see that it's going to benefit them, then it helps a lot with the guilt.
So by filling our own cup, we are essentially feeding them.
That's it, filling our cup. I'd love to speak about that for a moment.
Yes.
What does that even look like for people? Because it's such a broad term.
Yeah.
How do you ladies fill your cup?
Sleep.
I find immediately just like switching off social media and doing something like in nature definitely recenters me, I must say.
Okay.
So there's lots of things that you can do, but it starts with saying, okay, I'm going to do something differently. And I've got some practical examples of things, but for me, it was starting to wake up. It started off with 30 minutes earlier every morning. And practically, a meditation, you Google it, you do it off Google. Spending time in yourself, with yourself, having a gratitude journal. Noticing when you're overwhelmed and saying, you know what, my darling, give me 10 minutes. Going to make myself a cup of tea. And just in those 10 minutes, filling up your tank. It doesn't have to be something that you put on the side and wait for the right time. You can do it on the go.
So I think ultimately what we're saying is filling our cup is just by making a decision, a different decision, and then actually implementing some action. Because what's the point of making a decision if there's no action?
That is exactly
and there
it.
can be small little changes that help you keep that cup nice and full so that you aren't blowing over and affecting everyone around you in an anxious space.
Yes, definitely. And just remembering that our children are watching us. And even if it isn't our children, we might not have children. We want to be the best version of ourselves, and that starts with self-love. I'd love to go into activity for today.
Yes.
So the quote that I've posted is, when you choose you, everybody benefits. It really is a win-win situation. Today's activity is a journaling prompts with some questions, and we have to know where we're at to know where we're going. So it's a bit of an inventory. And then I ask them the question, how do they put themselves first? And it's a good time to say, you know what, I actually do. I go to gym 3 times a week. Great. That's a good start. Because we don't want to only look at what we're not doing. We also want to look at what we are doing.
Exactly.
Yes, good point.
And then how do you spend your time every day filling up your cup, and what could be standing in your way? And when you know what could be, that's a practical question. Why would you not put yourself first, practically as a mom?
It comes down to, because I'm capable of doing it, I will do it. So I can be dead on my feet, but if I can still lift my hands and do something, I will do it. I don't know when to stop when it's got to do with someone else.
Yeah.
So this is something that's really, really triggering me.
And I must say, there's a message that came through from Susan, which I can totally relate to, who says, this is hard as a single parent. How do you put yourself first when it's always just go, 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 and you're constantly focused on the kids?
And she says she has a teenager as well who's going through a lot. So you can imagine that's also the additions of getting older in life.
I am so glad that Susan, thank you, Susan. Yes, everybody is feeling this exact same way.
Yeah.
It really is about saying, you know what? I am going to, like I said, I'm going to do this for my children, but then just start with 5 minutes. Just start with 5 minutes and then increase it to 10 minutes and then increase it to 15 minutes. Another block is when we believe it's hard. When you tell yourself it's really hard to put myself first, it makes it even harder. So rather tell yourself something like, I haven't known how to up until now, so now I'm going to start to learn how. And you do it once and then you realize, and I'm definitely not the perfect parent by all means, but I have modeled this to my children. And I have a cute story. I hope I haven't already shared this on air, but my little 7-year-old went to school the one day and he said, he went and did a little survey. And have I shared this?
No.
And he said to every child in his class, who do you love more? Yourself or your parents? Yourself or your parents? He came back horrified. He said to me, Mom, you're not going to believe this. I asked every child in my class who they love more. And they all said their parents.
Oh, man.
Got to teach kids to love themselves
From
first.
young already,
Yeah.
7, but great survey, great initiative.
Yeah, good on him.
Right. So Candace, moving forward, so we've got our prompt for today, going forward with the journaling, etc.
That's correct.
And then at the end of the week, we'll obviously check in again, right?
Correct.
Anything happening in November?
Yes, we've got a beautiful full grit parent training on the 5th and the 6th
Nice.
of November.
Fabulous.
And so that is the full package. So parents are going to come for 5 hours on the Saturday and 5 hours on the Sunday. We're going to get through our stuff. We're going to get through our beliefs and what's holding us back. And really, it's self-love on steroids. 2 days just for you. So I truly believe that they must clear their schedule and get grannies. Again, there's a babysitting. Somebody will help.
Yes.
We have a community that's raising our children. It's not just us.
Great. So Candace, thank you so much again. If anybody wants to check you out or find you and also go to start their journaling, etc., where can they do so, or how can they do so?
Yes, through our Facebook page, www.grit-grow.co.za, and then join our Facebook and Instagram, and then just do that one activity every day. It's a practical way to start the journey.
Just a little bit of water in that cup every day.
Yeah, 100%. Candace, thank you so much for joining us again, and we'll hear from you again on Friday.
Thank you, ladies.
Lovely stuff.